Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua both walk away with $92 million. Sean Strickland does a 3-versus-1 fight at the PI, it looked like, with Adin Ross and some of his boys. Conor McGregor's casually just out of his mind giving Mike Tyson some boxing lessons. If this sounds insane, yes, today's episode is going to be a good one, guys. Lots of stuff to go over. Let's get into it. What's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to episode 43 of the Daily Dose podcast. If you love real, raw, and unfiltered fight news, current topics, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We drop every week with daily shorts. It's going to be a great one, guys. This episode is sponsored by Jackpack LLC, 1GM Construction, and Complete Solutions LLC. Tap in with me for all your roofing, constructions, remodeling, anything you need done. We got you covered. Let them know you heard it on the Daily Dose podcast for 10% off. Later in the episode, we're going to be talking about Cain Velasquez, Ray J's allegations, and why fighters keep getting themselves into legal trouble. Stay tuned, guys. So Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. This was pretty crazy, guys. No matter what, shout outs to each guy reportedly making $92 million. Now, one thing you can't do, guys, is play boxing, right? Shout outs to Jake Paul. He got in there. He's, made a lot of noise. Did everything to get to this point, so you can't knock him. I think there's a lane for him with, older fighters, celebrity, certain matchups, right? But his jaw got broken in 2 different places. He had to get surgery. Pretty bad, guys. And that's what I meant about it, like, terrible. The first few rounds were weird. I didn't know. And if you were watching my live, I was saying it was scripted. The first 3-4 rounds were just so weird. That's not how Anthony Joshua fights. I don't know if he wanted to let Jake kind of wear himself out or do a few things. I don't know what the deal was with that. But as soon as he started to engage and fight, it was over. Jake Paul, on the other hand, I don't know what's up with his team, right? Who on his team told him that he seriously had a chance to beat Anthony Joshua? Shame on you guys, his coach, his midman, all you guys down there hyping him up. Shame on you guys, bro. You knew damn well what happened was going to happen. So that's crazy. I don't like that. Bunch of dorks just getting paychecks. Like I said, respect to Jake Paul. Absolutely crazy. Just riding around on his bike, he usually doesn't fight like that. So changing your style, you run out of gas. Obviously, the training partners and the sparring partners he had weren't putting it on him, weren't laying on him. But, yeah, it was very crazy. Like, after the 4th round, he looked absolutely gassed, drenched, like he was in a war. But he was really just running. So didn't really deliver on the action part. But no matter what, like I said, props to Jake for getting in there. Both got a big payday. Anthony Joshua, he probably right off into the sunset. Maybe another fight or two if he really has that hunger. And like I said, there is a lane for Jake Paul. Hopefully he fully recovers. But guys, remember, you can't play boxing. Now, they had a big wrestling tournament over the weekend. Yoel Romero picks up a big win over Pat Downey. 48-year-old or 49-year-old Yoel Romero knocks people out in BKFC. Beats younger guys in wrestling. That dude is a specimen. On the opposite end, Belal, nobody ever remembers your name, Muhammad. He lost to a college kid on there. He got out wrestled. It was like 10-0. It wasn't even close. Pretty crazy. I don't know what happened there. Once you kind of start going out, I guess it just is all across the board. So we'll see if Belal gets back in the cage soon. Now, Adin Ross paid some of his friends to move around with Sean Strickland. I guess it's only fitting. It's been a while since we've seen Sean in there doing it. Of course, he was putting the paws on him. He was cracking him. He was dropping him. It's always good entertainment. Something that happened backstage at the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And it's really interesting, right? Because I don't remember necessarily, or the videos I've seen, it doesn't fully explain it. But it showed Jack Doherty's team getting into it with a legend. I believe he's fighting for the BKFC heavyweight title here soon. Andre Arlovski. Now, Andre had his phone in his hand. He's reacting. He's kicking. He's punching. He swung on Jack Doherty's bodyguard. A couple of his homies. It was absolutely crazy. I'm going to put that one on Jack Doherty. Andre Arlovski doesn't just start stuff like that. Now, something that was also crazy on that Jake Paul card, Anderson Silva, TKO's Tyron Woodley. That was crazy. He faked like a knee, caught him with an uppercut, hit him one more time Woodley was out of there. He definitely couldn't continue. It was a good stoppage. He was out of there. Shout outs to Anderson Silva, 50 years old, still getting a title, still doing his thing in boxing. So that was super cool to see. Reiner Day Ritter versus Caio Borralho. That's going to be a good one. Cody Garbrandt versus Long. That's going to be a good one. Allegedly, Michael Venom Page versus Israel Adesanya is in the book. So that's definitely an interesting fight I would love to see. Bryce Mitchell, as of lately, he sees this whole situation with Ilia Topuria, and he comes to Captain Savaho. He's over here saying he's going to beat up Ilia Topuria for putting his hands on women and blah, blah, blah. First of all, Ilia already whooped your ass. Secondly, as things are unfolding, it looks like she's definitely lying on him. It's not what she says. If she does come out that, everything she's saying is correct and he did do that, then I agree with you. But my boy, you can't jump up before you even know what's going on. So I don't know what's up with that guy. He's already missing a few brain cells, so we know how that goes. Pretty crazy. Cain Velasquez will finally be eligible for parole in February. He should definitely get it. I don't see why they wouldn't, get him out of there, let him out. Obviously, everybody who knows the situation and is close to him, or anybody who has a kid, everything like that, would fully understand why he would do that. Quick reminder, guys, if you're rocking with this content, if you like the episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Keep the channel going. Now in some other news, some internet segments. Tekashi 6ix9ine. So the Misfits card, headlined by Andrew Tate. Very interesting one, right? Andrew Tate comes out and he fights Chase Demore, the heavyweight champ. He hasn't fought in 10 years. Obviously, guys, not going to sugarcoat it. Again, respect, shout outs to him. He went in there. Someone of his stature doesn't need to do it, but looked terrible, gassed out, form was sloppy, kind of took a beating. So, respect to him. Again, he got money. He did it. He went in there and need to. He hung in there, but yeah, probably just stick to the influencing and business stuff because, you're obviously successful in that aspect. Now at the Jake Paul, he walked out with Tekashi 6ix9ine. As Tekashi's walking out, he looks at Young Thug and mugs him. I know he's been calling him a rat and stuff like that. First of all, you probably both are rats. Secondly, neither one of you would do anything, right? Let's put you guys in a boxing ring. That shit would be absolutely terrible. So Tekashi can spin it whatever way he wants. He's a rat too, and that's just the facts. Now, something interesting. I saw this video. Streamer DDG was with his crew. They were recording some content. And this guy just started kind of getting onto him, telling him he's wasting his time, wasting his life. Bet he doesn't make that much money. And then when DDG started telling him, he's a millionaire, he probably makes more than him, the guy's whole attitude changed. So definitely never judge a book by his cover. And little did he know that DDG probably does make way more money than him. I also saw a clip of Myron, the guy from Fresh and Fit, and he was kind of getting on to Kai Cenat for, saying he's been going through these mental health struggles and this and that. And again, everybody's going to go through their own battles. I wouldn't go at it as crazy as Myron, but it is borderline disrespectful, right? When you're a multi-millionaire with every opportunity in the world and you're talking about mental health problems when there's people that don't even know how they're going to pay their rent, where their next meal was coming from. There's so many people in worse situations. So I get where Myron's saying from that perspective. Again, everybody's going to go through stuff, but you should be the last one to come out and say how hard it is and this and that, because majority of people in the world, their problems are financial, and you'll never even understand what that's like. You've been rich for so long, and, that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. So this shoplifter in Ohio gets caught shoplifting. Him and the girl he was with, they're, waiting to be questioned by the cop. Dude pulls out a gun and tries to shoot off a shot. The gun doesn't go off. The cop, knees him, starts whooping him, but it was just crazy that the gun didn't go off, how it would have been such a more horrible scene. But, shout outs to that guy just springing into action. Now, if you're looking for a good laugh, guys, I'm always on Facebook, and I notice you'll see a woman that's attractive. She posts a picture, right? She's looking good. You'll get these dudes that look like, damn, Mr. Potato Head, 50 years old, just no teeth, being like, yeah, baby, I would change your life. I'd be so good. Like, dog, get the fuck out of here. Like, people be so unrealistic. It's crazy, guys. Like, when I see dudes like that, I'm like, please stop it, bro. Like, You got to know your lane. You got to own a mirror, but just do it. Just test it. Go on to any girl you see on Facebook that's attractive. Go look at her comments, and they will have you rolling. Now, Love Island. One thing I'm going to say here is you could probably skip New Mexico. I'm just letting you know. As far as is there some attractive women? Of course, I'm not going to say that. But the ghetto and the ratchetness, the show is going to go left. There's going to be fighting. You guys do not want that. So Love Island, you can go ahead and skip New Mexico. Now, rapper Jay Diggs, this guy, I wasn't too familiar with him, but I thought the story was pretty crazy. He got sentenced to 10 years in prison in Oklahoma for getting caught with 4 pounds of weed. Pretty crazy, right? Because, I mean, in today's day and age, 4 pounds of weed, I mean, I smoked that in a month, you know? Nah, but it's pretty crazy. I guess he was facing 18, didn't want to take it to trial, took the 10, and hopefully something happens, though. That's terrible. Now, I saw a video, and you never know, right? It could allegedly, but it was saying that Young Thug's uncle is a famous wild dude out in his neighborhood, and there's a video of him putting a knife to these kids' neck because they said Young Thug is a rat, and he's acting crazy. Now, they weren't really alarmed, but he actually had a knife to their neck and whatnot, so I wasn't sure what was going on, but it was pretty crazy to see. So, allegedly, Jim Jones, the building he does his podcast at, he's really behind on rent, and 50 Cent has reached out to the landlord to pay the rent, to take part ownership of the building, possibly even the podcast. So it's a disaster. I saw a video of Jim Jones throwing a Friday-style party to try and catch up on some of the rent. 50 Cent's like, hey, if I buy this and I take over, I know you hate Tony Yayo. He's going to be your boss, so you guys better get to know each other. It's just absolutely crazy again in this age. Who knows what's what, but from what I'm seeing, it seems like it's pretty legit in the sense of that he's behind and 50 might get it caught back up, so who knows what's going to happen there. Wiz Khalifa sentenced to 9 months in a Romanian jail. Now, I don't know the extradition rules with Romania, so I don't know if they'll actually extradite Wiz Khalifa, if he's just not going to go to Romania anymore, but I definitely don't think he wants to do 9 months in a Romanian prison. It was when he was out there, he got caught with some weed. There's videos of him smoking weed on stage. Wasn't even like an ounce, but some of those countries do not play. So hopefully he gets that all cleared up. Ray J's lawyer went to rescue him after he was stranded after that whole bus incident with Tom Brady. This guy is just a mess. He was in the middle chair. Like, yeah, my lawyer had to pick me up and, save me. Basically, we're going to see what our next moves are. Then a couple days later, a video goes viral from some girl I guess he was dating. And on the audio, he's saying Diddy tore his ass up and some pretty questionable stuff. So Diddy and Ray J definitely look like they were on some of that weirdo stuff. But he just comes out and says it's on a video. Again, people are saying he's talking about something else. But the way he's talking about it, go look it up. I'm sure you guys could find it. Now, former Hall of Famer and boxing world champion Thomas Hearns comes to find out that he was a victim of fraud and he lost one of his mansions. I'm like, man, it's so crazy. His son was helping him trying to figure it out, but just shame on people who get the privilege of, managing assets and taking care of celebrity stuff like that. An opportunity to make money a good and clean way, and you just ruin it, So shame on that guy. Hopefully, I'm sure he can bounce back. Seems like he wasn't, too hard about it, but definitely a shitty situation. Now, Rob Reiner and wife killed by their son. Absolutely crazy. Allegedly, he had a lot of drug and just mental problems. Stabs his mom and dad to death. Rob Reiner was a famous Hollywood producer. Made a lot of good movies. That's terrible to go out that way, especially, in that situation. What was it like, right? He thought probably the last thing they thought that their son was going to stab them to death. So rest in peace to them. And granted, if his son has mental issues or whatever it is, you still probably should be in prison for a long time, because that's absolutely crazy either way. Shout outs to Gucci, man. I saw a video of him performing in Russia. Looked like the livest concert. I'm like, I don't even know if these guys even know what he's saying, but everybody was rocking so hard. Super cool to see. I'm never a hater of success, and that is definitely success from when he was, huge, out of shape. Then he went to prison. Now he's jacked, successful, and, he kills it way harder. So shout outs to him. Now this dude, for David, whatever you want to call him, a burn cage was found in his LA home. What would you need that for? Was he about to burn, Celeste Rivas? This is nuts. I don't know. We hear one thing. It looks like he didn't do anything. He's not involved. Then they come out with these crazy stories. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it kind of gets settled soon, because absolutely a crazy, crazy case. Now, Anderson Silva said he wants to become a cop. We might finally see him and John Jones in a matchup. Nah, just kidding. I saw that. I saw like a meme on that, and it was hilarious. But yeah, Anderson says he wants to join the police force. Shout outs to him, man. Anderson, the legend, Spider Silva. Now, there's a hilarious viral video. Mike Tyson and Conor McGregor were recently chilling. Conor's yacked out of his mind. Eyeballs huge. And he's teaching Mike Tyson combos. Like, buddy, slow down and realize what you're trying to do. You're trying to teach Mike Tyson some kind of peekaboo style combos. Come on, buddy, stop it. I saw another thing. The internet is undefeated. It was a picture of Blueface and his new girlfriend, and it said, "When did Blueface start dating T.I.'s son?" You'll have to go look at it. It's crazy. Like I said, it's all in good fun. If you can't laugh, you're at the wrong channel. Ashton Hall, goodness gracious. This guy posts a video of his daily routine, and he's eating a damn onion like it's an apple. Stop. Like, come on, dog. I know I've heard that, that is definitely a really good and healthy thing, but that is absolutely crazy, guys. Like, chill out, buddy. Something that happened, I think it was on Friday, Wallow and Gilly had their knockout party. Well, leading up to that, there was a couple fighters that were going to fight, and one of the guys adopted his opponent's son. Yes, you heard that right. He got with the baby mom. Apparently, Buddy was a deadbeat dad and not doing what he needed to do, and the dude adopted his son. I'm going to have to follow back up. I'll let you guys know. I don't know how the fight went, but that is absolutely diabolical. I'll probably have to take care of you before the fight, because that's the craziest thing. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. Now, a woman arrested after 42 years. Apparently, she abducted her daughter, sent her to live a whole different life. She didn't even know her dad was her dad. Like, absolutely crazy story. The video is wild. She's with this other lady, and they think it's a joke, but she actually got arrested, and she's, facing some pretty serious charges. Now, I don't know what's going on. I get it's expensive and stuff, guys. I mean, if this was your girlfriend, daughter, friend, whatever, you'd be absolutely embarrassed. This woman hops on the internet and says, "Where's Boosie at?" She wants one of these live challenges where she could show her area for $1,000. Like, come on, guys. It is not that hard to make $1,000. You guys got to stop acting like that's some crazy thing. Great episode today, guys. Lots of topics. Obviously, with no UFC fights, we just got to talk about a bunch of current topics. I want to keep the channel going. I'll do a year-end review next week, giving some of my favorite fights and cards from the year. But yeah, it's been a hell of a year, guys. I appreciate everybody being a part of the channel. As always, we're going to get out of here on the message of the week. Of course, with it being the new year, don't wait until the new year to create the new you. There's no better time than the present. Get up and get to it. Start those resolutions today. Kick it into high gear. Create the person you want to be. Anything is possible, guys. If you made it this far, you're my people. I really appreciate it. The Daily Dose podcast community. Shout outs to everybody. Hit subscribe. Send this episode to a friend. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to hear, what you like, what you don't like. This was episode 43 of the Daily Dose podcast. We'll see you next week.